Welcome to the special year-end edition of the Global Intelligence Yearly Wrap-Up for 2024. This year, the world of intelligence and national security has been marked by unprecedented challenges and revelations. From transnational repression and assassination plots to foreign interference in democratic systems, we've seen a whirlwind of activity that continues to reshape the global security landscape. Today, Neil Bisson, with over 25 years of intelligence and law enforcement experience, brings you unparalleled insights and analysis on the stories that defined this year. Each of these cases offers lessons and warnings for the future of global intelligence. Let's dive in.
Hello, and welcome to the Global Intelligence Yearly Wrap-Up, where I provide insights and analysis on the most impactful developments in the world of national security, espionage, and intelligence for the year 2024. The sheer volume of national security, intelligence, espionage, terrorism, and sabotage stories to hit the open media this year has made it incredibly difficult to choose which stories to discuss. But hopefully, you'll agree on some, if not all of my choices for this year's review. Okay, with that said, let's take a closer look at my picks for the top intelligence thematic trends of 2024. Number 1, India's espionage and assassination scandals. We begin with India's shadowy operations abroad, which have dominated headlines throughout 2024. The assassination of Hardeep Singh Nijjar on Canadian soil, and a foiled plot to eliminate Sikh separatist leader Rajpal Singh Pannu in New York reveal troubling operational practices within India's Research and Analysis Wing, or RAW. While India has deflected blame by attributing these actions to rogue agents, the repeated use of proxies and organized crime for covert operations abroad raises serious questions about oversight and accountability within its intelligence apparatus. The implications are severe: strained diplomatic relations with Canada and the United States, public outcry among Sikh diaspora, and escalating demands for transparency and justice. In Canada, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau publicly accused the Indian government of orchestrating Nijjar's assassination, triggering a diplomatic standoff. Meanwhile, U.S. prosecutors indicted an Indian intelligence official, Vikresh Yadav, linked to the attempted murder of Pannu. These actions underscore the increasing audacity and risks of transnational repression. From an intelligence perspective, these cases explore significant OPSEC collapses, such as the use of traceable communications and unreliable intermediaries. For Western democracies, they highlight the urgent need for enhanced counterintelligence and investigative capabilities to monitor and respond to foreign interference effectively. In 2025, the actions of the Indian intelligence operatives and their connections with criminal organizations will likely continue. However, Western intelligence agencies will be better placed to identify and hopefully disrupt future operations that threaten extrajudicial killings or assassinations of Indian dissidents. Number 2, foreign interference in Canadian politics. Canada's national security landscape was heavily shaped by revelations of foreign interference in its democratic processes. Testimony from former director of CSIS, David Vigneault, revealed that the Chinese government funneled approximately $250,000 into Canadian elections in 2019 and 2021, supporting candidates and staffers from multiple political parties. This interference was executed through clandestine networks involving diaspora leaders, political operatives, and financial transactions designed to evade scrutiny. India has emerged as a key player in Canada's foreign interference challenges. Indian intelligence operatives allegedly targeted Sikh separatists and manipulated immigrant communities to advance New Delhi's agenda. These actions exacerbated diplomatic tensions, with Canadian intelligence agencies collaborating with allies like the US and Australia to counter these threats. The introduction of Bill C-70, which proposes a foreign influence registry and enhanced investigative powers for CSIS, represents a significant legislative response. However, gaps remain, particularly in public awareness and resource allocation. Intelligence professionals stress the need for sustained investment in counterintelligence capability, public education, and diplomatic initiatives to mitigate these threats. Early next year, the Commission on Foreign Interference will provide their findings and recommendations. It is obvious that Canadian politics have been used as a playground from foreign adversaries to attempt to achieve their own political agenda. Municipal and provincial electoral offices will need to be more aware of the tactics used by foreign adversaries to prevent our democratic systems from being continually undermined. With a probable federal election in 2025, Canadian voters will need to ask if the candidates that they are supporting are actually tools of foreign governments or non-state actors, simply trying to manipulate the system to obtain their own goals. Number 3, Russian sabotage operations in Europe and their lessons for Canada. This year saw a surge in suspected Moscow-linked sabotage operations targeting critical infrastructure across Europe. Arson attacks, parcel bombs, and industrial disruptions were reported in Germany, Poland, and the UK. These incidents underscore Russia's reliance on hybrid warfare tactics blending physical sabotage, cyber attacks, and disinformation to destabilize NATO allies and weaken support for Ukraine. One particular alarming case involved incendiary devices disguised within packages, which ignited during transit in Germany and the UK. These attacks highlighted the vulnerability of logistics networks to low-cost, high-impact sabotage methods. NATO's response has included increased intelligence sharing and enhanced security protocol, but the incidences reveal significant gaps in preparedness. For Canada, these developments serve as a cautionary tale. With infrastructure spanning vast, sparsely monitored regions, the potential for similar attacks on Canadian soil cannot be ignored. Strengthening cyber defenses, improving infrastructure security, and maintaining robust intelligence sharing networks with allies are all essential for mitigating these risks in 2025. Number 4. The Daniel Khalife case and counterterrorism in the UK. In the UK, the escape and subsequent recapture of a former British soldier, Daniel Khalife, raises significant concerns about the effectiveness of security measures in counterterrorism cases. Khalife, who has been accused of gathering intelligence for Iran and planting fake explosive devices, escaped from the Wandsworth prison in a high-profile incident that shocked the public. The details of his escape, hiding under the food delivery vehicle, highlight systemic lapses in prison security. His eventual capture, after a nationwide manhunt, brought attention to the broader issue of insider threats and the risk posed by radicalized individuals within the military or government institutions. From an intelligence perspective, the Khalife case underscored the importance of rigorous vetting processes, enhanced prison security, and continuous monitoring of individuals with access to sensitive information. This case serves as a reminder that even low-tech methods can be used to exploit security vulnerabilities, requiring constant vigilance and adaptability in counterintelligence efforts. Iran has demonstrated that they are willing and able to infiltrate aspects of the UK military apparatus. Canada's military has likely been infiltrated as well, but to what degree and what efforts are being taken to identify and stop it? Well, that's another question and another concern. Number 5. Chinese influence operations in the UK and the Philippines. China's influence operations continue to expand globally in 2024, with notable cases emerging in the UK and the Philippines. In the UK, investigations revealed how China's operatives use financial donations, lobbying efforts, and covert networks to gain influence within political and academic circles. One prominent case involved Christine Li, a lawyer accused of acting as an agent for the Chinese Communist Party's United Front Work Department, while Prince Andrew was identified as being in a close personal and financial relationship with another Chinese agent of the CCP. Despite her denials, MI5 issued a public warning about her activities, highlighting the sophistication of China's influence operations. In the Philippines, Beijing's strategy focused on economic and military influence, leveraging its Belt and Road Initiative to secure key infrastructure projects, while simultaneously asserting dominance in the South China Sea. Chinese intelligence activities also targeted Filipino activists and journalists critical of Beijing's policies, using tactics such as harassment, surveillance, and disinformation campaigns. From an intelligence perspective, these cases demonstrate the multifaceted nature of Chinese influence operations, which blend legitimate activities with covert manipulation. They highlight the need for democratic nations to strengthen legislative and counterintelligence measures to protect sovereignty and counter foreign interference. The sophistication and relentlessness with which China is pushing its influence operations on the world is staggering. There needs to be a larger coordinated effort on the part of the Five Eyes and their allies to continue to push back against China's efforts. Coordinated efforts need to identify and embarrass China on the world stage by ensuring that there are consequences for their continued and unabashed attempts at foreign influence and interference in Western democracies. Number 6. Chinese espionage in Canada. The reappearance of former Canadian scientists Shuangguo Qi and Kending Chen in China under pseudonyms has reignited concerns about intellectual property theft and espionage. The two had previously worked at Canada's National Microbiology Laboratory, where their unauthorized transfers of sensitive research to China's Wuhan Institute of Virology raised alarms. Records showed that Dr. Qi collaborated with researchers from the People's Liberation Army and participated in Chinese talent programs aimed at acquiring cutting-edge technologies. Despite these red flags, gaps in Canada's immigration and security screening process allowed the pair to operate without detection for years. The case underscores the urgent need for comprehensive counter-espionage reforms, including stricter oversight of research collaborations, enhanced vetting of high-security positions, and greater coordination between intelligence and academic institutions. Canada has for too long been soft on intellectual property being stolen from our research and technology industries. This not only leaves us vulnerable on the economic world stage, but shows international partners that they risk losing out to competitors because we have not shored up our defenses against this type of espionage. Number 7. Terrorism and homegrown extremism in Canada. 2024 saw 2 high-profile terrorism cases that underscored vulnerabilities in Canada's national security apparatus. The arrest of Ahmed Fahoud Mustafa El-Didi and his son disrupted an imminent ISIS-inspired attack in Toronto, while Mohammed Shahzeb Khan's plot to target a Jewish center in New York revealed the persistent threat of homegrown extremism. El-Didi, linked to a gruesome 2015 ISIS execution, entered Canada despite his well-documented past, exposing significant flaws in immigration and security screening. Similarly, Khan's use of encrypted communications to evade detection highlights the evolving challenges of counterterrorism in the digital age. These cases emphasize the need for increased resources for CBSA, CSIS, and RCMP to enhance screening, monitoring, and investigative capabilities. They also call for stronger community outreach programs to address radicalization before it manifests into violence. Canada can no longer wait to put resources and funding into ensuring a more stringent security screening efforts taking place. Terrorist elements are taking advantage of programs that were meant to improve Canada's economy. Temporary student and work visas are being used as tools to gain access to and plan to execute acts of terrorism, violence, and crime. Individuals without status in Canada need to be identified, and if they're involved in illegal activities or national security threats, the government must take the appropriate actions to detain and deport them. If this does not happen, Canadian lives will continue to be at risk, and Canada's reputation as a responsible country will be seen as just a naive concept. Some closing thoughts. 2024 has been a transformative year in global intelligence. Stories of espionage, sabotage, and foreign interference dominated the headlines. These events underscore the evolving complexity of modern threats and the critical importance of proactive intelligence measures to safeguard national security. As we look ahead to 2025, the lessons of this year will undoubtedly shape the strategies and priorities of intelligence and law enforcement agencies worldwide. And as more stories from the shadowy world of espionage, sabotage, national security, and international intelligence come to the forefront, I look forward to examining the information and providing you with the insights and intelligence you need to discern how this affects your country, your politics, and your life. In less than 1 year, my YouTube channel has grown to over 26,000 subscribers. The Global Intelligence Weekly Wrap-Up has been downloaded in over 62 countries, and there have been almost 30,000 downloads across all platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. I want to thank each and every listener for their support and interest in my content, and I plan to provide even more in the coming year. My hope for everyone in 2025 is that you stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you for joining us for this special edition of the Global Intelligence Yearly Wrap-Up. This episode represents the culmination of a year's worth of rigorous research and expert analysis, bringing you intelligence insights comparable to high-level government briefings. From espionage scandals and foreign interference in democratic systems to the evolving threats of terrorism and sabotage, these stories highlight the complexities and stakes of the global security landscape. If you found today's episode insightful, we encourage you to like, comment, or share it with others who value staying informed about the critical issues shaping our world. Be sure to visit the Global Intelligence Knowledge Network, where Neil Bisson, director of the network, offers deeper commentary, professional resources, and expanded insights into the stories you've heard today. As we close the year, we want to thank all our listeners for your unwavering support. Your engagement helps us continue to provide vital intelligence and analysis to an informed and thoughtful audience. As always, Neil reminds us, stay curious, stay informed, and stay safe. Wishing you a prosperous and secure new year. See you in 2025 for more essential intelligence analysis.